Live on Facebook. Hey, how y'all doing?
Hi, are you ready?
Great.
Good
I
afternoon.
think that.
Yeah. And welcome, you guys. It's nice to see you during lunchtime. Well, my lunchtime. You're a little bit.
Midnight.
Yeah, you're
It's
at
midnight.
midnight. And Richard, what time is it? It's 11 o'clock your time?
Midnight?
Mhm.
It's Friday night, right?
Friday night, yeah.
Or Sunday morning here in the Philippines.
It's Saturday morning. Yeah, Saturday morning.
So how's it midnight, basically Saturday morning in the Philippines, Gerard, and your hair looks so good?
Of course, I need to prepare for this live.
You know your hair is becoming very famous across our country.
It is.
I know.
And look at those glasses.
This is like, a common haircut here. So
Yeah.
maybe not common there, but
Well, you
it
have
is
to have hair to have a haircut like that, right, Richard?
I wish I could, but I'm like, yeah, no.
If you grow it out a little bit and then comb it over.
Well, no, I look like the old man with the comb over, so no, that doesn't work.
Hey, so what do you want to talk about today? We're here today to kind of talk about, how to make life simpler in your business, in your mortgage and real estate business.
Yeah.
Virtual assistants. So I know you and Gerard have been partners for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Going strong, right?
7+ years. And I would love to talk about, or I want to hear Gerard's opinion too on, what are loan officers and what are real estate agents doing? What are they doing with their partnership with their VAs? Like, how are the VAs helping them grow their business, and how are they helping them with more freedom? And when I say more freedom, it really is about leveraging and helping them grow and get things done so the agents and the LOs can focus on the money-making activities, and therefore the business grows and it's a win-win for everybody. So whatever you have on your mind, Inga, I know you have some questions you want to ask, and we want to hear those. And I like your dog too.
Oh, thank you. I have her on my lap, so she stops barking at everybody.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. So I know, like any successful business person, whether you're in mortgage or real estate, you need to have some kind of help, something. I mean, somebody, if you want to succeed in your business and you want to, be able to get more stuff done on a daily basis without working yourself 24/7, you need an assistant of any kind. And I've known that since, I was old enough to realize what business people do. I mean, most successful ones have an assistant. But today, with the use of technology, we can have assistants anywhere in the world, right? And I think, Gerard, you're an amazing example of what a rock star virtual assistant should be like. Of course, I mean, I think you broke the mold personally, but I think that you and Richard have an amazing relationship. And with that said, you know everything that there is to know about what a virtual assistant does, how they can help real estate and mortgage professionals. So I want to hear from you. Why does someone in the Philippines want to work with someone in the United States as a virtual assistant?
Well, it's a very convenient for us to work because, I could just work in my pajamas. I mean, like right now, you don't know what's under here.
I don't know if I want to go there.
Yeah.
I think we're all in a home office.
My routine is that, I can just woke up 15 minutes before my shift. Like I'm working for Richard from 9 a.m. up until 5 p.m.
Not with that hair, you don't wake up 15 minutes before your shift.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd wake up 15 minutes before my shift and, just right into it, open my computer and, start working for Richard. And here in the Philippines, especially, in major cities wherein, traffic is really bad, that they could spend 2 hours just or 4 hours a day just for the commuting. So virtual assistants tend to venture out in the virtual assistant industry or home base because they can just work at the comfort of their homes and be with their families, especially for moms. for moms, for dads. So, and here, if you work here locally, right, in the Philippines, there are extra, deductions with your salary, like, taxes or the other benefits. But working straight from, from a direct client from the United States, so we're gonna receive the money in full for us. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's a different setup. It's, more convenient. There's a lot of benefits working home based.
It's a pretty coveted job, I assume. I assume a lot of people that are going to
They
school
do,
right
yeah,
now
it is.
are learning English for that reason. They're learning skills like social media and marketing and, phone skills so that they can get jobs right here in the United States or other countries as well. I'm assuming we're not the only people, in the whole world in America to use virtual assistants, right?
It is coveted. I mean, a lot of people in the corporate world, even, people working from the banks and, call centers and, insurances. So other kind of planning to transfer. That's the reason why you're here in the Philippines. There's a lot of agencies who's offering training, training for a fee, because there's a lot of, there's a market for it. A lot of Filipinos right now are really wanting to land a home-based job, or maybe working for a direct client in Australia, in United Kingdom, and in the United States. Those are the common countries.
Awesome. Richard, how did you come across Gerard, and what made you get a virtual assistant 7 years ago?
Yeah, what prompted you, and what did you like about me?
So I heard the same thing and had the same belief as what you were saying, Inga. In order to really grow my business, I knew I needed help. And I knew that I needed to focus on certain things for my business, and I didn't have time to do so many other things. So I did decide to hire a virtual assistant, and I had a great group of people kind of show me what to do or how to do it. It's really, really hard when you don't know, because you make a lot of mistakes. So I did that, and I hired a few different VAs that didn't really work out. So, and it was really because I wasn't really, sure how to do it or what to look for. I knew in general, but then I found Gerard, and I knew his great attitude. Gerard's an awesome person, and I decided, oh, okay, this might work. So, but of course, over time, I've learned so much, and Gerard and I have seen so many of the same mistakes being made by like loan officers and real estate agents for trying to hire somebody, and so you really, like, the biggest mistake we found is people would hire the wrong person and then give up or feel like it doesn't work. But to answer your question, yeah, I knew I needed help. And so in our business, we get pulled in so many directions. We tend to do a lot of busy work, or even more. The thing that Gerard has helped with so much over the years is things that I either didn't have time to do, or things I wish I knew how to do in my business. And like you talked about, Inga, so many things online. So landing pages, marketing database, putting the database, the marketing, the email marketing, the social media, so many things that Gerard and I have done over time, videos where they just go everywhere. It would have taken me a lot of time to figure it all out myself. But what I realize is, if I'm doing all of that, the thing that I'm not doing is staying in front of buyers and helping realtors and helping, people buy houses. And so I couldn't really, there's only so much we can do. So it was just to help grow the business, but at the same time, make it a win-win. Because I think, at the time, Gerard was looking for something, like he said, where he can work from home and have more freedom that way, and be able to do things kind of his way with freedom. So it was a win-win.
Awesome. So, I mean, do you think you can run your business today without a virtual assistant? I mean, if God forbid Gerard's like, listen, Richard, I'm out of here. I'm going to start my own company. And, now that I have all this experience and whatever, I'm done. Like, you're on your own. Do you think you could run your business today without?
So I think
He can, but it would cost him more.
I think first I would have to fly to the Philippines and have a long talk with Gerard if he ever said that to me. But no, I think with our business, I think it would really suffer. I mean, I can answer the question two ways. One, without Gerard, no, I would suffer immensely without Gerard. Without a VA in general, and I, yes, it would be very difficult because there's so much that Gerard does for me that and this is what you want to have when you have a virtual assistant. It's kind of like we're on the same wavelength. So, and Gerard, it's funny because Gerard will always message me back or, SOP, standard operating procedure, because there's so much that gets done by Gerard that's automatically done. It's automated that would be difficult change because, over time, it's kind of like we work so well together as a team that he knows what he's got to do. I know what I have to do, and it's basically automated. So yeah, I don't ever want to be without Gerard, but I would never hold Gerard back either. But in general, it's a virtual assistant that works for a loan officer or a realtor is a huge, huge team member. Like we're partners. So I don't even think of a virtual assistant as an assistant. I think of them as a partner. And it's so many of the clients, the realtors and the loan officers that Gerard and I have helped hire virtual assistants for, they feel the same way. It's a partner in their business, and it would be very difficult to change or to be without. Like they would have to replace them with somebody else as opposed to being without once you have a partner that way. So did I answer that? I hope I answered the question.
Right. So here's like I tell obviously we talk to loan officers on a daily basis. I talk to real estate agents on a daily basis. I actually had 2 real estate agents this week just come visit me, just try to get my listing. So, and I see the kind of work that you guys do. And I'm not a licensed real estate agent or a licensed loan officer. And my understanding is that there is a lot of busy work that goes into, forget all the marketing that goes into putting yourself out there. It's not like a regular sales job because you are like an independent business for the most part, even though you work for company XYZ, you're still an independent person that is a self-sourced business. So yeah, not only do you have to do paperwork and, your accounting and all that, your daily stuff dealing with clients, but you have to market yourself. So Gerard, tell me what kind of things do you do for Richard marketing wise that are essential to his business?
I'm allowed to say everything, but
tell me, don't give away all the secrets. We don't want to give away the farm,
Well, with marketing, everything is automated on our end, and I'm really the one who's implementing it from email marketing, from social media marketing. So we have separate person for social media, and with Richard's events, doing the marketing, doing the coordination for him. So if you were on Richard's shoes, so if you choose to have 2 events or 3 events in a month, Richard, the thing that Richard just needs to do is, just to show up. So everything else has been covered for him.
Not bad, Richard, right? you just make an appearance, get dressed, look nice. Gerard does everything else, right? You set up the entire event.
We do. Yes. His virtual assistants, do everything for him. So he can focus on, his money making activities. He can focus on his loans, and yet, he can do more with the help of a virtual assistant. So I guess, the main question right here is why a virtual assistant and why not, an in-house assistant?
Right.
So why a virtual assistant? Because, in today's rate, you can get a virtual assistant for 4, 5 to $6, depending on, the tasks that you would want them to do for you, compared to maybe, an office assistant, which would cost you how much?
Yeah, what would an office assistant? Yeah, what would an office assistant doing what Gerard does for you cost? Like, I mean, I think that everyone kind of has different ideas of what an assistant costs, right? But like, what does it really cost?
So honestly, here in the U.S., if someone was to get an administrative assistant with little experience, you're looking at about $15 an hour. If a realtor or a loan officer is looking for somebody who has the type of experience and performs the type of tasks that Gerard and all these other VAs perform, seriously, we're talking about $20 to $25 an hour. I know a lot of agents that do have in-house assistants that
ISOs.
Yeah, that are paying 15 to 20-ish dollars an hour. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, that the VAs in the Philippines, the majority of them are college graduates. This is a professional position and a job for them, and they're very, very knowledgeable in what they do. And a lot of what Gerard was saying earlier is they don't have to drive. The commutes in the Philippines, like Gerard said, can be an hour, 2 hours one way.
Yes.
They don't have to deal with that. They get to have that freedom to stay home, to work from home. So it's really a win-win for everybody, but it's definitely not, a bunch of people that are staying home and can't find a job. So hey, let's be a VA for the US.
Right. Well,
These
that's what I'm saying. Like, these
professionals.
are people, this is a very coveted position. I mean, I see the amount of activity and the amount of people that reach out on a daily basis to you guys,
Right.
wanting to be employed by someone here in the States. And their resumes are spectacular. I mean, fluent English, very well written. Their communication skills are excellent. They've worked with big companies. And this is a job that people really want there because, one, I mean, economically, it makes sense. If you don't have to get in a car and drive and commute 2 hours a day, perfect. You can work hours that, people in the US work, 12 to, what are your hours usually?
For Richard,
Yeah.
I'm flexible right now.
Well, no, I mean, what typically are your hours, like at night?
Oh,
Like,
at night here in the Philippines, that would translate to 10 p.m. up until 6 a.m.
okay, so
And
10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So your kids are pretty much, if you've got kids, they're sleeping during that time. And then you wake up, you get them off to school, and then you have, your time to go to sleep and rest
Exactly.
up and do your errands during the day. I mean, a lot of us don't have the luxury of doing our errands during the day because we work full time, and that stuff has to wait till nighttime or on the weekends. And here you have like the perfect situation because you're working all night and then you've got a couple of hours in the morning that you can get your kids off to school and spend time with them. And then when they get home from school, you're awake and you're getting ready to go to work again. So it's a win-win for the people who are taking these jobs in the Philippines. Yeah, Richard, you're right. They're not just people who can't find a job and are unemployed and want to stay home. These are people that are literally go to school for this type of position. And for us here in the States, it's all about economics. I mean, you mentioned $15 to $20 an hour. That's not including if you have a full-time employee, you have to pay them healthcare, you have to pay the insurance,
Right.
You have to pay all this other stuff. Yeah, we're talking like, but when all's said and done, you've got someone making $50,000 to $60,000 a year that, maybe has a high school degree, maybe has, doesn't have the skills that you're looking for, but you're up to hiring them because that's what it takes to have someone helping you. So
and I just have to add to that, in-house assistants could be limited in terms of the tasks that they can, do and perform for you. Like, for example, we have had realtor clients on here that, is looking to hire different kind of people because it's like she has this company working on her social media. She has an in-house assistant for transaction coordination, and she's another one for this and for that. And, the versatility of a virtual assistant could literally save them, some money. in the long run, because virtual assistant nowadays are totally versatile. I mean, they could perform calls for you. They could, with training, if you're
Right.
looking for beauty, so they could perform some other tasks. Wherein if you're going to hire an in-house assistant, their responsibilities could be just limited, or they can just be trapped into an area of responsibilities, which a virtual assistant could just could perform. I mean,
Well, no, I mean, I know I understand what you're trying to say. And I know the economics of things. Someone who goes to college here, in the United States and is graduates with a general degree, guess what? They're coming out with thousands and thousands of dollars for the most part with student loans. Okay. They're not going to take a job paying $10 an hour but yet they might not have the qualifications to do everything that someone who needs an assistant can do. And they'll have to be, groomed into the role and eventually, pick up on the things and learn on their own and get more skills and training. But yet that takes time. So when we have a virtual assistant step in, for the most part, this is what they train on when they go to college, right? They learn social media on purpose. They learn how to set up websites and do landing pages and do marketing and speak English fluently and make appointments, because that's really what the kind of job that they're looking for. They specialize in this type of career, correct?
Correct.
So with that said, I mean, just the economics of it makes sense. Plus, I think that, yes, Gerard, you can't go on appointments for Richard, that's one thing you are limited on doing. What's your other limitation? What can you not do for Richard? Let's talk about that. Is there anything that you cannot do for Richard besides show up in public, in person, and what?
We're working for Richard for more than 6 years now. I haven't had, discussed any rates for the client, or I'm not really involved in any transaction. So
Okay.
what I did, or what we do technically is, just really to do some pre-qualifying follow-ups with the leads, and then we go ahead and transfer them to Richard. So anything
you can't get your license. Like basically you cannot talk about the contracts. You can't talk to the buyers about like their rates, nothing like that. Right, Richard?
Yeah. I'd like to touch on that because that is a big question a lot of realtors and loan officers have. And the virtual assistants, they're mainly helping with marketing, branding, social media, making outbound phone calls. They're doing pretty much everything that somebody would do that is not, like on the mortgage side, Gerard doesn't talk about rates or files with a client. If at the VAs for realtors, they're not talking about real estate or prices of homes or negotiating. So that is a money-making activity. That's what the realtor and that's what the loan officer needs to focus on. What the VAs do is help with everything else. So putting together a database, making phone calls. And we've talked about this before, where we have VAs that call leads for real estate agents and set appointments in a 2-hour time block, set 7 appointments with people that said, yes, we want to buy, or yes, we want to sell. It's just doing those type of things that the realtor and the loan officer don't have enough time to do, because they are talking to the clients about buying, about selling, about their mortgage. And so if all the other work is getting done consistently, because the biggest problem that we've seen realtors and loan officers have is having a roller coaster business. So, and I think everybody knows what that means. They have a lot of, they do marketing, they get clients, they spend all their time helping those clients. And then when they have a bunch of closings, now they need to go find new clients. And so they're going up and down. Where a virtual assistant helps and having a partner that way is, no matter how busy the LO or the realtor gets, all their marketing and all their calls and everything's still being done automatically in the background. So their business just doesn't just go straight. It keeps going up is what we've seen. So that's kind of the things that the VA does. Is so it's the things that it's all the things like when I hired Gerard, it was the things that helped me stay in front of my clients more. But more importantly, Gerard helped with all the things that I wished I knew how to do. Like I never knew how to do Facebook ads. I never knew how to do landing pages. I never knew how to be consistent and send consistent emails and videos. Like I didn't know how to do all that. And so if I spent hours and hours figuring all of that stuff out, I wouldn't have any business because I wouldn't be in front of buyers and, clients. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. So it's having them make phone calls and having a lot of that busy work that they can help support you on. Every day I talk to realtors and loan officers that don't have databases. And your database, that's your money. 85% of a realtor's business comes from the people that know them. So
Right.
you have to stay top of mind. So the best way to stay top of mind is to be consistent with it, and it's to have a partner helping you with it. So that's kind of my thought on it.
And that's
And a
the thing,
lot
I
of
mean,
real-
oh, go ahead, Gerard. Go ahead.
Yeah, and a lot of realtors who reach out to us are, somewhat needing some phone support because, they get this internet leads and they don't know, and they don't have the time to, to follow up. I mean, we have this adage wherein, we need to call the lead or a new lead within 5 minutes, that
Right.
that they go into our system. So that's one of the biggest factor that realtors come in and and hire a virtual assistant, and it goes with their follow-up system as well. I mean, do you have a structure for your follow-up? I mean, for example, if the virtual assistant would call this person today and wasn't able to get a hold of the lead, is this virtual assistant needs to send an email, or is this virtual assistant needs to call within the day again, or next week, next month, next year? So what? You know what I mean? So this is something that realtors, loan officers, or any clients out there needs to structure and implement, because virtual assistant would just follow the system that you are actually telling them. And if this system is not working, and then you guys can brainstorm. And because virtual assistants right now, they work as consultants or they work as partners. If you are hiring, a high caliber virtual assistant, it's not like, they're just working for you, doing the transactions for you. And, it's not a transaction relationship or transaction like relationship. It's more of, a partnership that, this is our business. I'll be helping you with your business. And the more you grow, the more I grow, like, professionally, financially. So
I know I was just messing around and I wanted to see how quick the response was from Quicken Loans on getting back to a lead. Okay. So I was just curious, so I put in my information, and I gave my phone number. Literally, I didn't even have time to hit send. That phone was ringing to me. Okay. So tell me this, how quickly today does a real estate agent or a loan officer have to get back to a lead?
We all know the answer, very, very quick. And
right. And if you can't be there to do that, who's doing it for you?
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we've seen really, really help the realtors, because in today's day and age, with the digital age, people value time and people don't want to wait. And so if you're a realtor and you're out showing houses and a potential client calls you, it could be a referral from a family member or a friend, and you don't answer and it goes to your voicemail, or your voicemail's full. In 2019, that person is calling the next realtor. They're until they talk to somebody. And then when you call them back, they're not going to answer because they've already gotten taken care of. So one of the things that's really helps with the virtual assistants is you have your phone forwarded to your virtual assistant. Your virtual assistant answers the phone and says, "Oh, Ingo, Richard's he's in an appointment right now. Can I have him give you a call back in 15 minutes or whatever?" And what the studies have shown is, as long as somebody answers and they talk to them, they'll wait. They won't move on to that next realtor. So yeah, that's a really, really good point that you make, because that's where I think even saving one transaction that way, and then the agent closing on that transaction will pay for their virtual assistant sometimes up to a year's worth of pay with that one transaction. So it's huge. It's huge.
So just, I mean, out of curious, for those of that you guys are watching, I mean, all I hear about is leads, like real estate agents getting leads, buying leads, loan officers generating leads, getting leads. But those leads are really obsolete if no one's contacted them, right? Right. I mean, so like Richard, if you did nothing else in your daily work, but just called back leads, how successful would your business be if that's all you did?
So unbelievably successful. I mean, we know that. I'll give you an example. We had one of the VAs, Gerard and I did. We have a awesome VA that we had her call on a Zillow lead list, and this list had, gosh, I think 50 people on it, but it was a year old. And she called on this lead list, and 6 of the 48 or whatever people that she called said, yes, I want the agent to call me. I want to buy a house. And that was literally year-old leads. So the key is, what you keyed on is, yes, if all we did was talk on the phone and call and follow up and follow up and follow up, then yeah, the numbers are astronomical. So, and it's not just calling leads, but it's calling the database. You know, we have VAs that call our database on our behalf. We use phone burner, and so the voice is mine on the messages left on the voicemail, but when the past clients answer, it's the virtual assistant calling and just saying how much we appreciate them. And so, yeah, the more we're on the phone, the more successful we are in sales, and it's nonstop, or it's even texting. I mean, we have our virtual assistants will text people, and you know, a lot of people are more responsive with text messages. We're getting towards 50% of buyers are going to be millennials, and they want to text. Time is money. Time is important. So, so to answer your question, yes, I could have made it shorter, but
yeah. So that is one crucial thing that if you got, the only responsibility you have today was to call back leads, even old leads, you could literally double your business, right? So
definitely.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. Why not have someone in your, arsenal, a virtual assistant that is just doing that?
Yeah,
right,
definitely.
Gerard, how do people in the Philippines feel about making phone calls outbound to U.S. customers?
They're pretty much confident and comfortable in doing some phone calls, because I think 90% or 95% of all of the virtual assistants came from the call center industry encountered some irate customers. So they're totally comfortable. They could create rapport, and they could empathize with your leads moving forward. So it's not kind of a big of a deal. And a lot of virtual assistants, as what Richard mentioned earlier, are, college graduates having their own degrees and, very fluent in the English language. So they can tell, or, for example, if you've had you'll have your virtual assistant call your leads, so they would know that they're not from the United States.
Right. Yeah. Gerard, I have a question. What kind of bug is that behind you?
What?
What kind of bug is that behind your shoulders?
Bug?
Yeah, look behind your shoulder. There's a green bug behind there.
Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I think it's a grasshopper.
Well, happy Friday, guys. I think we've probably covered, every aspect of why you need a virtual assistant and why you should be on the hunt for one right now, right? Because it's spring is ready to have sprung. And I think that even if you have old leads and you want to just, pluck a virtual assistant just to make calls for your real estate agent or for, as a loan officer, you should just invest in the time just to hire someone today to do that. If they do nothing else for you.
Yeah, and if anybody has any questions, any follow-up, any interest in getting information on how to hire a virtual assistant, just feel free to direct message me or Gerard. to drop a message on the Remote Assistant Scout page. I think we did this through my personal profile. So yeah, just shoot me a direct message, get with Inga, get with Gerard, and we'll answer any questions. If you want to hire one yourself, we'll show you exactly what to do. We have all sorts of information that can help. We have a couple really, really cool lists that show you exactly the things that VAs can do to help grow your business. We have a real estate one. We have a loan officer one. We have an insurance agent, financial advisor. We've helped so many people. So, yep, we'll give out whatever you need and any information, any questions. We are here to help.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Any parting words, Gerard?
No. If you need help or anything, guys, if you have any inquiries about virtual assistant and how they can help your business, feel free to message me and we'll take it from there.
All right. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ingham.
Bye, guys. See you next
All right,
time.
bye.